Good morning everybody and welcome to week 8 of the bus build. I have a lot to get done this week. All of these are tasks that I still need to do on the bus. They are listed out based on the amount of time that I think they're going to take. So I have little arrows here telling me like how much time I need to spend on each. And while that's not a rule, stuff happens and takes longer, I am going to try to stick to this schedule the best that I can because in doing so, I will finish everything on the bus. I'm 75 to 80% confident that I can do it, which probably doesn't seem very high, but it's a big list and I only have so much time this week. So we're just gonna do our best to stick to the schedule, to power through and to get things done because I know I'm going to be so grateful for the hard work that I'm planning on putting in this week when we're on the road. Like I said, a lot to get done today, so I am going to hop right into it. So my thought is this piece, there's the metal structure of the bus is right here. So I could screw in with a self-tapper this way is my thought. And then if I cut this right, okay. I need to trim this a little bit, but then essentially this will sit here. So I could screw it in from the top. I can put a piece here to secure it to, and then the top of the box will basically just die into this. I'm not too concerned about it being about it hanging down because realistically I'm not going to be using all of this for storage because I can't get up here without a ladder. So I'm going to go cut this down slightly, bring it in and see how I can go about mounting it. So essentially this is what it's going to look like. That piece will span the top of the door and then this back headboard piece will come up and then die into it, and I can use Kreg screws, glue, etc. to get that to hold. And then it's also going to be mounted to the sidewall, the bed, and then the metal support beam, the steel support beam of the bus back there. So I just finished putting the back piece on after I sealed it. It's not secured yet though, it's just clamped on because I need to test out a couple of different options as to how I'm actually going to secure it to my bed frame, which is made out of 2x4s. So I have two options here. One is this, I don't know if you guys can see. All right, there we go. So one is this threaded insert that secures from the back. Basically what happens is you screw in from the front, this is pushed into the back, and then it threads into this little piece right here, this male piece, and it sucks it up, forming backed threads. And then the other option is just this small threaded insert again. Sorry if you guys can't see that. And this is essentially the same thing, just minus the little teeth. I'm gonna try this one first because I think having the teeth and the flat back will make it more secure if possible. But if all else fails, I can use these. And ultimately, if I need to, go and get longer screws just to make sure that, again, it's all the way through and that this is super secure. It's wild to think that in about a week, actually no, a week from now, we will be at our first campsite, most likely, on the road, not just temporarily. That's cool to think about. Motivation to stay up and work by flashlight. Last time I did this, I dropped so many of these little screws behind my batteries, which in this situation wouldn't be terrible because my batteries aren't mounted yet. But my last van, oh my god, these are so finicky. In my last build out was a real hassle because when you would drop something back there, they were already mounted by the time I finished putting together my system. So it would take me 20 minutes to pull the batteries out. There we go. Pull the batteries out and get them all fixed and like get the thing out and get it back in place. So we are trying our best to not do that this time. So now we're gonna cross our fingers that this doesn't short, which it shouldn't, because this is pretty straightforward. Numbers are upright. We got our positive connected, we got our negative connected. The wire is running. It's not secured yet, but let's go organize this stuff a little bit. Put the cover on, just good practice. Grab my shoes and let's go see if it works. Big moment. I have not done this yet, I promise. I'm gonna turn this light off. Woo. Please work. Oh my gosh. That is literally perfect. That is the exact, yeah, that's the exact look I was going for, guys. This is awesome. I love it. I think it looks really nice. I think I'm going to wrap up this video, or today's portion of this video, on a good note, because I'm super stoked with how that went. And I'll see you guys in the morning. Good morning, you guys. It is Wednesday morning, I think. This morning I need to clean the bus because it is a freaking disaster zone in here. Just like there's stuff everywhere. And I don't know about you guys, but when I have a disaster on my hands, I am not productive. So I'm gonna clean things up. I'm gonna throw trash away because a lot of this is just trash. I'm gonna organize my tools a little bit, and then I think I'm going to finish up my plumbing. So since I am not running hot water in the bus, I needed to cap off this hot water line to my sink. So that way, as a few blogs put it, my bus doesn't turn into an aquarium. So I am just putting some pipe, thread sealant, and tape on the male end of the fitting. And mind you, please watch a professional do this. I am simply here for non-educational purposes. I am here for fun. I honestly don't know what I'm doing. So I've done it before and it worked, so I'm doing it again, but that's about it. Okay, that should be good. I'm going to wipe off a little bit of the excess. You can't really see, I guess, but there's just some excess goop on there that I'm gonna get off. So I am going to arrange all of this. As you can see, it's tight back here, but honestly not that tight. Like I am going to have these lines, or this line, kind of up and out of the way in the back here, which will free up space for a trash can. That is gonna be so amazing, which if you've never done like vehicle dwelling, you're probably confused why a trash can is amazing, but I didn't have a trash can in my last van. So rookie mistake, I got 1/4 inch OD like outer dimension, instead of 1/4 inch ID. And so this does not fit. I'm very bummed, frustrated about this, because it now means I have to go back to the store to go get another piece that fits in order to finish my plumbing, but it is what it is. I was gonna go this morning to go get the new piece, but I think what I might do instead is just stop by the store later this afternoon when I'm already out, instead of wasting time. And the rest of the morning, I will probably prep the remainder of my system, so getting the PEX line to run across, and then I'll just have to wait to get this topper piece. But I do know, generally speaking, the rest of my system dimensions, so I'm gonna cut to that, and then I'll have to wait to finish my plumbing until later today. Alright guys, it is the next morning. Last night my mom and I did not get home until 9:30. We had a really nice time, went out to dinner, and just had a great kind of make up Mother's Day. So that was really fun. I'm super glad we went and got to spend the time away from all the craziness together. And in addition to that, I also was able to go to Home Depot and pick up the right part. I don't think you can see it. This is the valve that's going to go under my sink. What I had originally purchased was the 1/4 inch OD, and I needed the 3/8 OD, which is again that outer dimension. But I'm going to permanently install it now, get the rest of my plumbing hooked up, and wire it so that way my pump works. And then it's time to test the system and make sure there aren't any leaks. Alright you guys, so that took a couple of hours to hook up all of my switches, get all the wiring set. I hooked up and clamped off a couple of the hoses that were attached to the tank, and I think we're finally ready to try it out. So I have my little RV filter. I think this is Camco. It's just an RV water filter. I use this in the van. It made my water taste good. I never got sick or had issues, and I got water from some questionable places a couple of times. So anyways, if you're looking for something, this was like $18 I think on Amazon, and you replace it every 3 to 6 months. I've set up towels under every area where water could leak out. And so the goal is to make sure that there aren't any leaks, of course, that's really important. And then also to make sure that my pump system functions like I want it to. So I've already done the plumber's putty and the sink drain. I've hooked up my gray tank. So really, as long as we don't have any leaks, we should be good to go on plumbing. Just connecting a couple of the wires for my float sensor. But in terms of the essential plumbing components, we should be all done. Alright you guys, so far so good. There's no leaks. Nothing is wet. Obviously, I'm only checking these 2 lower ones because the water level is only here. But I mean, generally speaking, my rule of thumb was to never fill above this line anyways, because a hose is going to go here to vent, and obviously you don't want water in that. And then you don't want to overfill back up into the fill port either. What I'm going to do now that this looks like it's holding, I will wait overnight to make sure that it holds before I fill all 42 gallons, because the worst thing that could happen is letting this sit with 40 gallons in it and having a small leak and that turning into a disaster overnight. So I'm going to leave this amount of water in, but what I am going to do next is double check that my components don't leak, and then everything that's up front in the sink as well. So I have some towels up there. My pump is running and working, or it can run and work. There's power to it. So let's go check that out. So first things first, we're going to pressurize the 12 volt SureFlow pump. So I'll press this. And we're going to turn it on. Water is coming out, which is a good sign. And we're draining. Just make sure that's not a drop of water. No water. Even though it took 2 or 3 days to get this whole thing together in pieces and wrong parts, I'm so excited to report that there are no leaks yet. Obviously, I need to wait overnight to make sure that there are no slow leaks or drips, but so far we are looking good. My sink is not leaking, the putty is holding up, my gray tank is draining just like it should, which is really good news because I also have a concern, obviously, of water going under my sink after it's already run through my system. But so far we're looking good. What I'm gonna finish up with plumbing tonight is just securing all the wires. As you can see, there's a lot of new electrical back there that runs to my pump, my accumulator, etc. And then I'm also going to be hooking up my tank float sensor so that way I can see how much water I have. I'd say today so far has been successful. I'm gonna get those last bits of plumbing together and I'll let you guys know tomorrow if it ends up holding overnight. I have a good feeling about it, but you can never be too safe. Alright you guys, so it has been a couple of hours. I went and had some dinner. I finished up all of my wiring for my plumbing, and I also finished up my light strips. Well, I hope I finished them up. I just connected the wires, and this is a dual switch that also lives in this front kitchen area. It controls the shower light and then this LED light strip. I still need to add some trim for the wire that's coming down in between the kitchen and the shower, but otherwise, if these turn on right now, I should be all done. So let's cross our fingers. It's like the moment of truth. Oh my gosh, it is so bright in here. Let's see this one. All right, you guys, this is insane. Look at how bright. Wild. And then this is the shower light. Obviously, the shower is not done. I need to seal it, trim it, caulk it, put it on a floor. Like, this is the least done part of the whole build. But this light is so bright, and this is also why I didn't do puck lighting in the rest of the build, is because even though it is quite bright in here right now, it's a softer, more diffused light as opposed to being this intense, like, piercing light. Good morning, it is Friday, and just a warning, it is a hot one. I think it's supposed to be 92 or 93 degrees today, which is why I'm trying to get a bit of an earlier start. It's also why my skylight is taped up, because I'm trying to stay cooler. The heat literally feels like it's melting it off, but we're doing what we can to stay cooler today. Tara is under the bus already, where it's nice and cool. We both have lots of water, and we are just gonna try to power through. I feel like this always happens whenever you're trying to finish the big project on the build or finish the build. Weather does not want to cooperate, but that's just how it goes. Nothing I can really do about it other than stay hydrated. So that's the plan. Let's get everything done that I said last night, which at this point I don't really remember what those things were, but I know they had to do with lighting and ceiling and shelves. Today or tomorrow will be the last day that I shoot. It is Friday, and I don't know that this video is going to go up on Sunday. I'm sorry. But I will be frantically running around, I'm sure, on Sunday trying to get all my stuff packed in the bus, which means today and tomorrow are the days to mostly finish the bus. So I gotta get moving. I'm really excited to show you guys the tour, probably in a week or so after I'm finished. But yeah, for now, we're just doing the best we can.